So this time I thought I'm ready. Let me apply for the High Court. If I thought I had a chance in the Court of Appeal, I would have applied. But you chance.
What do you mean if you had a chance? You have practiced before the courts.
Yes.
Court of Appeal included. What would make you think that you couldn't have? I'm just curious. Why the High Court and not the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court?
I don't know. There are things that you just do. I don't have a... yes.
Right. Because even as I'm trying to look through the jurisprudence of the Supreme Court, I was struggling to find a matter where you are not a party. It's a difficult thing.
Yes.
So let me just ask the one.
Yes.
This one I know you are not a party.
Okay.
Where we were determining the issue of mental incapacity when it comes to removal of a state officer. And we gave guidelines as to what a court would look at when they are determining whether a person has mental incapacity for the purpose of removal. What would the court? What were some of the guidelines?
Judge, I was in the MMG one.
Oh, you are also in it.
Yes.
Goodness. I think then let me just leave it at that. As you see, I'm not able to find. I really tried to think of a case in terms of jurisprudence which you are not there. We've had lots of debates anyway.
Yes.
On some of the issues which have been raised by my other colleagues here. So let me just leave it at that. Thank you. I've remembered a question.
Okay.
You've been obviously, you're well read, and therefore you've been following the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. Last year, they made a very interesting decision regarding the issue of trans women accessing women's toilets. Are you aware of that decision?
Yes, I'm aware of
Can
that.
you just give us the scope of that decision and the reasoning behind the UK decision?
Their decision was simple. They said that being a man or a woman is a biological fact. It doesn't go beyond that to, because I think the other side was claiming that you can have you can be psychologically a woman in a man's body. So the court says this extends only to, I don't know if they're interpreting a law, this only extends to biological, and they stopped at that.
So what's the implication of that decision? Why did they go that route? What was the implication in terms of the rights of women?
Yeah. Because what the court decided was this constitutes a woman.
So now what I'm trying to get to, the net effect is that men,
the trans
cannot use
women. Yes.
And what is the effect of that? That trans men cannot use women's toilets? Is it does it protect women? Does it go to the safety of women?
Yes. It goes to the dignity. Because women need to be protected in that space.
What about women? What about in sports? Should trans women participate in women's sports?
Judge, you're asking policy decisions.
No, arising from now what the UK court has decided.
Yes.
That the issue of men and women is a biological fact.
Yes.
So in sports, should then...
In sports, I'm aware.
Yes.
There's a criteria. They check your...
But should biology be? Should that be also checked? The biology of it, because obviously, what you are saying is checked is biological.
I am aware in sports what they have done is, because they say certain people have natural advantages.
So let me put it more clearly.
Yes.
So you're a High Court judge.
Yes.
A matter comes before you that there is a trans woman who is now running for 1,500 meters, and will then be part of the Kenyan Olympic team. And the women who are biological athletes go and say, no, this trans woman should not be representing women you should not be in the women's field.
Okay.
What would you say and why?
What I would do, number one, is I would look at the law. Does the law make any provision dealing with this issue? Number two, I will ascertain the facts by getting experts to come and speak to that issue. There are people who have expertise in clarifying on that issue. And then I will make a decision based on the law, the facts, and the implications, the broader implications to society. Because this is a decision that will not be isolated to this incident. It will be setting a precedent. So I'll approach it with that kind of caution.
I still want to get back to
yes.
the rationale in the UK case.
Yes.
Because if you allow men into women's sports, can women be allowed into men's sports? The same way, and it will be, can women stay in men's prisons the way men want to stay in women's prisons? So I'm still taking you back to the rationale of the UK decision, why it was made, and whether you would agree with the UK decision if you're a High Court judge.
I would agree with it because I'm inclined socially that way. And I would say this, that when you're making a decision, you must be conscious of the society, the context within which you're determining that decision. Because if you go ahead or outside society, the reaction to the law might not be.
Okay. Sorry, yes. I just want to pursue with one more question.
Yes.
I'm worried
yes.
that therefore you're worried about the culture.
Not the culture.
And not the rights. So do women have rights to have their own spaces for safety? Do they have rights to participate in their own sports?
100%, absolutely.
So it's not about society, it's about rights.
You're asking me about the trans, not the women.
But the trans want to be women.
They cannot be because they are not.
Okay.
Can I follow up with a question? Just one question on that.
Yes.
So why would you need an expert to tell you whether a woman is a woman? Because you said you will ask for experts on this. Why would you need it's biological. If a woman is a woman, she's a woman. If it's a man, it's a man. Why would you need an expert?
In competitive sports, there must be a standard of certain natural attributes, because you will find a natural woman with certain attributes that are above the standard, and therefore they will have a distinct advantage over their colleagues. So if that is the issue, you will need an expert to determine that.
But the UK Supreme Court said it's biological.
And I agree with them. I agree with them 100%.
Okay.
But we were arguing about the issue of trans, because trans is somebody who has moved from one to the other.
No.
Yes.
No.
Trans is.
No.
Yes.
I think you better take this argument outside.
Yeah.
I agree. So can we have Commissioner Kiso to take us to another area? We leave that one for open debate outside.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.